Welcome to another episode of Battle Axe here at the Bustin Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque, Iowa. I'm Joey Danya, alongside, as always, Bobby the Blade Bradford. We're set to bring you week number 5 of action here in this 7-week season before we get to our double elimination postseason tournament. Here on Battle Axe, if you're just joining us, let's take a look at how the scoring takes place. The outermost ring is worth 1, and every ring moving inward is worth 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 points for the bullseye. That little blue dot on the outermost ring, that is for a kill shot. If a player can hit it, it's worth 8 points. If they go for a kill shot and miss, they get 0 points. Let's take a look at the standings after 4 weeks of competition. It's Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw leading the way, a perfect 16-0 record, fueled by his 53.3 scoring average. Behind Bradshaw, it's Chris D'Onofrio, Casey Nines, Brian Fitting, Cody Yoakum, Casey Buell, Eric Shizzle, Hannah Brussel, Brandon Feenstra, and Sarah Fitting rounding out the top 10. Brian Fitting is a newcomer to this league, but he's making a name for himself. Let's throw it down to Brian now for more on his strategy this season.
Working out well. Yeah, I've been throwing a lot of kill shots at home. I think that's going to be my key at the end. My plan is not to throw anything down here until I need them. So if I can get 1 or 2 of those in a game, that could be the difference. I'm probably about 35% success right now. If I can get that up to 50, I'll feel really confident coming into the end of the tournament. If I'm 50%, if I throw 2 and get 1, it'd be good. If I can get 2, I'm in great shape. So we'll see.
Brian Fitting off to a nice start through the first 4 weeks of competition here on Battle Axe, and he's got a tall task ahead of him here as we get week number 5 started. Brian Fitting going to go head-to-head with Chris the Dagger D'Onofrio, Bobby.
Chris the Dagger, one of the top competitors in the league. Brian quickly making a name for himself, coming in at 10-6. Chris at 14-2. It's going to be a good one here, Joey.
We are underway here in week number 5 on Battle Axe, and D'Onofrio with a nice start. It's a bullseye.
Yeah, just a great throw by Chris. Chris coming off of that tournament that he traveled down to in Oklahoma, so coming in hot. And Brian, of course, has that axe throwing range in his garage, so he stays hot.
He works tirelessly at the game.
Bye, Brian. Bullseye, Chris.
To be one of the best. D'Onofrio with another bullseye, a 2-point lead, and a chance at a unicorn here on his 3rd throw.
Yeah, so if we look at other competitors in the league, Casey Buell has a really compact throw. Brian, as we've seen, though, has a lot of motion, but still is able to maintain a consistent 4 to 6 scoring
Bye, Brian.
throw.
Bullseye, Chris.
And we have a unicorn. What a way to start week number 5. Chris D'Onofrio throwing with ice in his veins right now.
Yeah, he's truly proven to be one of the top competitors, not only in this league, but in the sport itself. So great job by Chris and a nice start, but a nice start there by Brian as well to kind of hang around.
Bye, Brian. Bullseye,
It is
Chris.
another bullseye for D'Onofrio. He can't
All
miss.
right, 5th throw. Chris is up by 4.
It's got to just be disheartening for Brian, to throw 4 fives and still be down by 4.
Yeah, he's got to be thinking, what do I have to do here? He's going to have to get some bullseyes.
Bullseyes, that's what he's going to have to do, yeah, absolutely. And he knows that 4 is going to be crushing,
Brian,
and it's
bullseye,
another
Chris.
bullseye for the Dagger, not letting up at all and creating a 6-point lead. So although Brian's throwing fantastic, Chris is just unstoppable right now.
A perfect round in the first half of this one. 5 bullseyes for a 30 and a 6-point lead over Brian Fitting.
And we've seen Chris, and that's going to be
Brian.
close. That might be a 5 there, but
5, Chris.
I mean, we've seen Chris throw 5 6s before in the past, and just a tremendously consistent player. One of the top in the league.
When he gets hot in a hurry.
And Brian, he knows who he's up against, and again, he just cannot afford to have those 4s.
4, Brian. 4,
Lucky,
Chris.
though, that Chris throws a 4 there as well.
Fitting still hanging around, but he's going to need a lot to go his way here on the final 3 throws. He's yet to throw a bullseye, and he desperately needs him right here.
Absolutely, and he needs Chris to make some mistakes, which we know is a rare event. But getting close, that might be a 5. We're going to have to
Chris.
check and see if that's on the line or not. It looks very close.
Bye, Brian.
Does make it through, though, so it is a 5 as well.
So it's a 44-37 lead for D'Onofrio with 2 throws to go.
So we'll see if, at this point, Brian knows probably the victory's out of reach, but putting points on the board is very important. So let's see if he can capitalize on that.
5, Chris. Bullseye, Brian.
Nice bullseye there.
First bullseye of the day for Brian Fitting.
All right, last throw.
It's a
Chris is up
6-point
by
game.
6 points.
We'll see if Fitting goes for a kill shot.
Yeah, he did say in the pregame interview he was kind of saving that for when the moment is right, but I don't know if that moment's right now.
Yeah, well, the way that D'Onofrio throws just
Brian.
so rarely that he misses
5, Chris.
going for the kill shot.
Yeah.
Not
right, good
probably in
game.
the best
Brian
interest
48,
of Brian
Chris
Fitting. Just
54.
gets the points. D'Onofrio gets the win. 54-48, the final score. What a start to this one. 5 straight bullseyes for Chris D'Onofrio.
Yeah, just a tremendous start there by Chris, and really didn't let up on the second half. No bullseyes in the second half, but still 4 5s and 1 4. Brian, he did a great job. There was nothing wrong, really. Those 3 4s on the 5 through 7 throw really didn't do him any favors, but, nothing you can say that he did wrong.
Yeah, you wonder if they didn't have to switch sides, how long it would have been until
Right.
Chris D'Onofrio wouldn't have thrown a bullseye. So many great talents in this league. We're going to throw it down now to Brandon Feenstra on all of his competitors.
It's the new people are starting off better than previous seasons, and the old people are getting better, and so the bar is, you gotta struggle a little bit to even maintain.
Brandon Feenstra on what has been a very competitive field of axe throwers here on Season 3 of Battle Axe. Feenstra is set to go here in week number 5. He's going to get things started with a matchup against Hannah Brussel. This should be a good one, Bobby.
Absolutely. Hannah had a great week 4 showing here, so let's see if she can carry it over to week number 5.
What a start for Happy Feet. That
Bullseye,
might be a
Hannah.
bullseye. It is.
It does look like a bullseye, and it's going to be a close call here for Brandon. Looks like it might be getting over to that 5 ring a little bit.
They're going to bring in Eric the Scope Shizzle to get a closer look.
Yeah, and again, so Joey, the axe has to pop through
Yeah.
on either side of that blade, so it looks like it's just hitting a little bit of that 5 ring and not popping through to the wood, so that's a 4 for Brandon Feenstra, and a nice start here by Hannah.
A 2-point lead after the first throw for Hannah Brussel.
Y'all.
Yeah, so again, Hannah has done a really good job of
Don't
starting
throw.
off
Don't
matches
throw.
well, but she has to maintain that consistency, eliminate the drops, and keep the pedal to the
There's
metal.
another throw that
3, Brandon.
gets away from Brandon Feenstra. It's a nice throw here from Happy
Four-
Feet.
four
It's a
Hannah.
4. So she's got a 3-point lead after a couple throws.
Yeah, so like you said, Joey, Hannah going into the 3rd throw, up by 3, little off the mark there, throwing that 4, but still able to capitalize on Brandon's mistake and gain a point on him.
4 and 4.
Couple 4s from Brussel and Feenstra to keep it a 3-point advantage for Hannah Brussel. She comes into this one with a record of 8 and 8. Feenstra 6 and 10.
Yeah, Hannah and Brandon both in the top 10 of this league. Some of the top competitors,
For
and
Brandon.
Hannah again has just done a great job of eliminating drops this year, really putting more consistent points on the
All right,
board.
5th throw. Hannah's up by 4.
She builds a 4-point lead after 4 throws.
So Brandon's got to do a good job here of getting back in this game. He just can't have the axe slip out of his hand like that, and catches a little bit of a break with Hannah throwing what looks like a 3.
4 Hannah.
It is another 3 for Brandon Feenstra and a 4 from Hannah Brussel. She leads it 23-18 after the first half. We'll see if switching sides can help Brandon
Very
Feenstra
excited. And a back
claw
of
back
camera.
into this one.
Right, yeah, we don't see this many 3s from Brandon before here, so
4 Hannah.
something's definitely off with this throw to start. And we'll
For
see.
Brandon.
Ooh, could have been a 5 there, just not popping through. He's had a number of close calls, a number of close throws here.
And just can't get into rhythm. He's yet to throw a 5 or better. He's going to need to get a little hot here to get back into this one.
And looks like Hannah's holding
4
on
and
to the
4.
axe just a little bit too long, and Brandon suffering from the opposite problem, releasing the axe a little too soon. So each player kind of trying to find the rhythm.
It's a 5-point lead for Hannah Brussel with 3 throws to go.
Oh, and you can just see the frustration on Hannah, and
3 and bullseye Brandon.
tremendous throw there by Brandon to get back in this thing.
Just when he needed it. Big-time execution from Brandon Feenstra. He's now within 2 with 2 throws to go.
Yeah, so Hannah, the axe just getting released from her hand just a little too soon. And Brandon has found his stroke. He's
Bullseye.
locked
Brandon
in.
4, Hannah.
Wow.
We're all tied up.
Back-to-back bullseyes, Bobby. We're tied at
All
38
right.
all
Last
with
round,
1
you
throw
are
to
tied
go.
at 38.
Brandon Feenstra getting hot at the right time. A lot of pressure on both of these competitors here for their final throw.
It's always fun when it comes down to the last throw. So Brandon throws a 4, so she needs a 5 or a 6. And it
4,
looks
Brandon?
like
Wow.
she's got it, Joey.
What a throw there from Hannah Brussel. She's pumping the fist. She can feel it. It is a 5.
All
Hannah
right.
Brussel
42
wins
to
a
43.
thriller, 43 to 42
Good game.
over Brandon Feenstra. Well, what an exciting matchup this was. Brussel gets off to the nice start, and then Feenstra gets red hot on the 8th and 9th throws, and then Brussel delivers the big-time throw to get a 1-point win.
Yeah, it's a great example of keeping your foot on the pedal, Joey. It's one of those things where you can't let your opponent get back in the game, and that's exactly what Brandon did in this situation. So he threw 2 6s on the 8th and 9th throw to get back in this game, but then Hannah, with ice in her veins, threw a 5 to seal the victory.
Brandon Feenstra drops to 6 and 11. Brussel improves to 9 and 8. We've got a lot more action coming up straight here on MC22. Stick around. We'll be right back with more Battle Axe. Welcome back to Battle Axe here at the Bustin Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque, Iowa. I'm Joey the Jaw Danya alongside Bobby the Blade Bradford. It is week number 5 of competition here on Battle Axe, and our next competitor is a familiar face. It's Casey Buell, a guy who took a couple of seasons off, but now he's going to tell us about trying to get back into form.
I'm hoping so, obviously. It's just continually practicing and hopefully getting my throw down and making sure I hit those bullseyes or 5s at least. But I don't know, I've been struggling.
Casey's first opponent here in week number 5 is a new face to the show, Sarah Fitting, who's really making a name for herself. Here's Sarah on why she loves competition.
Oh, it's been seeded in me since I was a kid. I've always been. I mean, it could be a board game or a card game, and I want to win, and I'm angry if I lose, and it's just kind of continued since then. I played collegiate softball, pitched, so I mean, you talk being in control of the game and wanting everything to happen around me and knowing what's going to happen around me and knowing that I'm in charge of what's going to happen. So I kind of got to get that mindset here.
Sarah Fitting, a woman who just loves to compete, Bobby.
Absolutely highly competitive and looking to transfer over to the axe throwing range.
Casey Bullseye Buell is set to take on Sarah Fitting. It's our next matchup here on week number 5 of Battle Axe.
And both competitors coming in at 9 and 7, middle of the pack here in the top 10 standings. So should be a good matchup here.
5 Cody, 4 Sarah. Casey.
Nice start for Casey Buell. It's a 5.
Cody just playing
Fitting
like,
throws a
we
4.
have so many C names.
Buell is a guy who we've seen can beat anybody in this league. He's
Correct.
just trying to get back into that rhythm and back into form.
Yeah, and one of those things is just the mindset. You know, you're coming in here week in and week out competing.
4 and
And so that's kind of one of the things. Once you take a couple seasons off, you know, you got to get back into that mindset and really regain that focus and that muscle memory. So Casey kind of struggling this year with the 4s. Nice throw there. Looks like a 5 and a tremendous throw
5
there
and
by
6
Sarah.
It's a bullseye for Sarah Fitting. That ties it all at 14.
And of course, we've seen Sarah can hang with anybody in this league as well. Kind of suffers from getting locked into those 4s a little bit, so really kind of trying to hone in. But as you can see there, Casey with a devastating
4 Casey,
mistake there.
5 Sarah.
Fitting takes advantage to take her first
All
lead
right,
of the
fifth
game,
throw,
19
Sarah's
to
up by
18
1.
after 4 throws.
Yep, so one of the things that every new competitor has to learn how to do is just to keep that pressure on their opponent. It's one of the things when you look at the top players of this league, Joey, they do a great job of being in the
5
driver's
Sarah.
seat. They are always in control of the matchup.
5 Cody.
And they actually have a hard
sorry.
time when the roles are reversed and they're playing from behind. So
Yeah, the top competitors in this league, they put their foot on the gas and they just don't let up.
absolutely. So it's one of those things that new competitors have to learn. You know, it doesn't matter if the person next to you is a better thrower on paper. You're in control of this matchup.
Well, that throw gets away
Two,
from
Sarah.
Sarah Fitting.
Five,
It's a
Casey.
2.
It's a 2.
Buell takes advantage, throwing a
I
5.
didn't say it.
Wow.
He takes a 2-point lead.
And so again, going back to that lessons you have to learn as a new competitor in this league, that 2 is just absolutely devastating. Left the door open for Casey to come in, and guess what? Now
Casey
Casey
5,
Bullseye
Sarah
Buell's in the
5.
driver's seat.
But Bullseye Buell yet to live up to his name in this matchup. No bullseyes for Buell thus far.
You're still finding the bullseye stroke, but again, a nice throw there to make a 5, and another nice 5 that could be a 6
5,
if
Sarah
I'd
4.
take a little closer look at that one, but as Casey is doing. It is a 5 though, however, and again, Sarah not matching points, going down by 3 points.
Still right within striking distance, though. She's going to need a little mistake from Buell,
4
and then she's
and
got to
4.
capitalize, but no damage done there.
No damage done, but again, you
All right,
can't
one last
trade
throw.
points in this
Casey's up by
situation. You know, you
3.
have to capitalize on any mistake that your opponent makes. So Casey throwing a 4 there, she really could have used a 5 or a 6.
Well, that's a dagger from Casey Bullseye Buell. It might be a
5,
bullseye.
Casey, 4,
It
Sarah.
might be a bullseye. And yeah, it was initially called a
Was
5.
it close?
Jenny's going to come in to take another look.
There you go, bullseye. Bullseye.
So Bullseye Buell
Casey.
gets a bullseye to wrap this one
All
up
right,
with a
43
victory
Sarah,
over
48
Sarah Fitting,
Casey.
48-43, Bobby. And ultimately the difference in this one, that 2 on Fitting's 6th throw right after she switched sides,
Yep.
just got away from her.
Yeah, just a throw that obviously she wishes she had could have back. But a nice job by Casey to capitalize on that, throwing those 3 5s in the 6th through 8th throw. And definitely a lesson Sarah will learn and take on to other matches for sure.
Yeah, and as Buell is looking to really get into a groove and perform at a consistent level, this is something to build off for sure. Only 3 4s, lots of 5s, and then that bullseye to wrap things up. Well, we've got much more action still to come here on Battle Axe. Let's get right to it. Our next matchup is Brandon Feenstra. He's going to take on Cody Yoakum. So Yoakum and Feenstra touch tips of the blades for good sportsmanship. And we are set to go. Cody Yoakum, a newcomer to this league, but he's been impressive, Bobby.
Absolutely. Coming in
Hold on,
undefeated
Brandon.
into
Back
last week, suffering a couple losses last week, but really puts up a consistent score. And Brandon, of course, we've seen struggling at times this season with those 3s and everything, but a nice start there with a 6.
Another good throw from Feenstra.
5, Brandon.
It's a 5. This looks like a 4 for Yoakum.
3,
Ooh.
Cody.
Oh, it is a 3 for Cody Yoakum.
So the axe getting away from Cody there a little bit and creating a 3-point lead here for Brandon. Brandon doing a nice job of throwing those consistent 5s and 6s. Let's see if he can keep it up.
4, Brandon. 5, Cody.
A close throw there by Cody. It might be hitting the sliver of that bullseye, but it is a 5, and Brandon's going the wrong direction here. 6, 5, and 4. Let's see if he can eliminate the 3.
There's a nice response from Feenstra.
4, Cody.
Might
Looks
be a
like it's-
5.
5,
Yeah,
Brandon.
it looks like it's a 5. So it does take up a point from Cody here.
All right, 5th throw. Brandon's up by 3.
And again, what we were talking about in our last matchup too. This is where each competitor has to, learn how to maintain their lead here and keep putting points on the board. So Brandon just cannot have that 3.
4, Cody. 3, Brandon.
It's just
It's been a tough go of things here for Brandon Feenstra after a nice start with the bullseye. But he's got a 2-point lead.
Yep, losing his throw a little bit here, but he doesn't get too high or too low on any of these
4-4.
matches either. So he does a good job of maintaining his composure and still a 2-point game.
And either player able to really get into rhythm here and separate themselves.
So a couple of 4s
and
there by
4.
each competitor, and Brandon, of course, more than happy to just be trading points here with Cody. But if you are Cody, you have to be able to capitalize on these mistakes that Brandon's making.
Only 3 throws to go. Yoakum's going to have to get hot.
Looks like a couple of 5s there.
5 and 5.
It is. So once again, Yoakum and Feenstra trade points, and it remains a 2-point advantage for Brandon Feenstra.
Well, and of course, Joey, we've seen matches swing with the greater point differential than this, so anything's possible. But nice throw there by Brandon. It's going to be a tough call there by
5,
Jenny.
Brandon.
Might be a 4. We have to see if it's popping through in the wood on each side. I don't know. That's going to be a close, big call here.
This is about as close as it gets. It's
Wow.
a 5, and Cody Yoakum needed it.
He
That
did.
keeps it a 2-point game. So he's got to hope for a 4
All right.
from Feenstra and then
10
a
throw.
bullseye of his own.
Brandon's
That's
up by
definitely
2.
something that's possible. Brandon has to just have that focused. Ooh, and he cannot afford to throw that 4. But Cody doesn't capitalize.
4, Brandon.
It's awfully close, but yeah, that looks like it's best case looks like a 5
Yep. Best case looks like a
for
5.
Cody Yoakum.
Five
It
Cody.
is a 5 for Cody Yoakum. Well, this was
All
a
right,
great
good
matchup.
game. It was
Brandon
Cody 44,
Feenstra comes
Brandon
out with the win,
45.
45-44. This is one of those nail-biting victories that you just got to be happy to walk away from with a win.
Exactly, yeah. Brandon had a nice start there with the 6 and the 5 and really kind of fell off a little bit, but Cody was unable to take advantage of Brandon's mistakes, basically. So Cody definitely will take this into other matches and hopefully come out victor.
Cody Yoakum still with a record of 14-3 on the season. Feenstra improves to 7-11. Lots for these players to build off of as we've only got a couple weeks left until the double elimination postseason tournament here on Battle Axe. Well, we've got much more action still to come. Here on week number 5 of the show, we'll bring you all of the Battle Axe action straight ahead here on MC22. Welcome back to Battle Axe here at the Bustin Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque, Iowa. I'm Joey Danya alongside Bobby Bradford. Before we get back to the action here in week number 5, time now for a player profile on a familiar face of this league, Casey Laserwolf Nines. Here's Nines with his memories of the first time that he threw an axe and his passion for the game.
Shortly after Eric opened up Bustin Axe, some of our family and friends would kind of talk about, have you heard about the axe throwing place? I'm like, no, I haven't, Looked into it and I was like, that sounds fun. So one night, me and some of my family came down and we threw. None of us have thrown before, and we just had a blast. And it just got to the point where, like, every weekend we were coming back for another hour, throwing more, kind of getting better, challenging each other to get better scores. And then one night, Eric, the owner was like, hey, we're going to eventually start throwing league here. Is anyone interested? And some of us were like, I don't know about that. I don't know about a whole league of this. And for me, I was like, that sounds like a lot of fun. I played no sports in high school. I am not a competitive person. The reason I joined is because I thought it'd be fun. I've never been in a league for anything, so I thought it'd be a good chance to kind of meet some other people. I'm a single dad, so I'm always home with my daughter. So I was like, maybe a good chance to start meeting new people, get out there and do different things. So that's why I joined. So I do enjoy coming down every Wednesday, and I love throwing axes. But the family we do have here, it's been great because now it's like, kind of had a bad day, you come down and you're gonna have a good time, because whether you win or lose, most people don't really care about that here. We're here for fun and we're here to see each other. So I come down, have a great night every Wednesday night, always a good time. So we do have a great family down here, and that's probably the best part about coming down here.
It is a closely knit field of competitors here at the Bustin Axe Throwing Range, Bobby. Laser Wolf, Casey Nines, set to go here in week number 5. He's going to take on Gina Feenstra.
You're good? All right.
So Nines coming in with a record of 13-3. He's always one of the best in this league.
Yeah, Gina having a tough go of it with record, but
Gina,
putting up a
Casey.
higher consistent point
gonna call you
total
Nines.
this season than she has in leagues past. So we'll see how this plays out.
Laser Wolf.
Laser Wolf starts things off with a bullseye.
And of course, Casey gets his nickname from his axe, the Butcher, and Laser Wolf being
Five,
the Butcher
Casey.
from Fiddler on the Roof.
Fiddler on the
3,
Roof.
Gina.
Absolutely.
2, Gina.
Should we sing, Bobby?
I think we'll save that for the season finale. How about that?
So it's a 5 for Laser Wolf, a 2 for Gina Feenstra.
Yeah, so for Gina, it's really important to eliminate those mistakes that she suffered from drops in leagues past.
4, Casey.
Now
4,
she's got to
Gina.
hone in, eliminate those 2s and 3s, and kind of focus on those 4, 5s, and 6s. It's easier said than done.
Nines and Feenstra trade points there with a 4. Great throw there from Laser Wolf.
Bullseye
Yeah, great
Casey.
throw. Nice throw there by Gina. Looks like it could be a 5.
5, Gina.
It is a 5.
And it is a 5. Again, popping through on both sides of that blade. So,
5th throw, Casey's up by 6.
and again, so the week number 8 double elimination tournament, the seeding is based on point total.
Gina.
So it is important for every
Bullseye
competitor
Casey.
to throw up as many points as possible.
Yeah, that's why you'll see when we look at the standings, you'll see a player who might not have a better record than somebody
Correct.
ahead of them, but it's all based on how many points you have.
Yeah, so for somebody like Gina, coming in at 1 and
4 and
15,
5.
it's really important for her to just put those points on the board. So coming in, throwing a 23 right now, kind of focusing on eliminating those 2s and 3s is going to be the objective of her game for right now.
Yeah, outside of that 1-2 on her second throw, she's had a consistent round here thus far.
Correct, yeah.
4, Gina.
Nice throw there from Feenstra. It's
5,
a
Casey.
4. Nines throws a 5. He's got a 10-point lead with 3 throws to go.
Yeah, and for a competitor like Casey, he's going to be focusing on those 5s and 6s. Really, it's just a different level of competitor. So, Gina is doing a good job of eliminating the drops, as we've seen with a lot of competitors in this league.
4, Gina.
And now she's moving on to that next level of eliminating those 2s and 3s, focusing on that
Bullseye
5 and
Casey.
6.
So it is another bullseye for Casey Nines, his 4th of the match.
Yeah, so Casey's really locked in, knowing the tournament time is right around the corner, really kind of taking in that practice that he was talking about in interviews past, taking that practice onto the throwing range.
3, Gina. Bullseye Casey.
And again, that axe just getting away from Gina just a little bit.
All right, last throw.
That's that old
Casey's
cliche.
up
You're
by
going to
15.
play like you practice.
Exactly.
And Laser Wolf puts in a lot of practice.
Absolutely. And, all these competitors, they show up early in the match. They start practicing and everything like that, but it's just getting into that rhythm and,
Gina.
again, just avoiding those huge
5,
mistakes.
Casey.
So,
Kept that lead really well.
So Nines wraps up the match with a 5 for a nice round of 54. He gets the
36,
win over
Gina.
Gina Feenstra.
54, Casey.
Well, what a nice round there from Casey Nines. A total of 54 to get the victory. Really impressive stuff here from Laser Wolf.
yeah, one of the top scores we've seen in the season so far. Really nice job by Casey throwing in we got 5 6s there. And so a nice job, only 1 4. And for Gina, again, it's really just focusing on her eliminating the drops, which she's done a good job of. And now it's eliminating those 2s and 3s from her score.
5 bullseyes for Casey Nines in this one. Laser Wolf certainly looking like a guy poised to make a run at a championship here on Battle Axe.
Will definitely be a dangerous competitor.
He's set to go for another matchup here in week number 5. Casey Buell is going to take on Casey Nines. It's a matchup of the Caseys, Bobby.
Yep, the classic matchup of the Caseys. Always going to be a good one. Again, as we've talked about before, Casey Buell trying to regain his stroke that he's had in leagues past and coming in against a hot competitor in Laser Wolf.
4, Casey Buell.
So Nines picks up right where he left
Bullseye,
off.
Casey
Another
Nines.
bullseye for Laser Wolf. Buell throws a 4.
So each competitor going to be very dangerous come tournament time. Really working on honing in that throw. A nice throw there by Casey. It looks like it's going to be a 5.
4 Nines. 5
So
Buell.
a 4 for Laser Wolf, a 5 for Bullseye Buell. It's a 1-point game.
Yeah, so again, nice job by Casey Buell to make up a point there. And all smiles as he goes into the third throw.
4 Buell, 5 Nines.
So it's a 5 for Laser Wolf. Buell throws a 4. Nines has a 15-13 advantage after 3 throws.
Yeah, and you can see the frustration on Casey Buell's face. He's just not hitting those 5s and 6s as consistently as he has. And he knows going up against
Bullseye
somebody like
Nines.
Laser Wolf, he needs to be there.
Another
4 Buell.
bullseye for the Wolf. His second of the match.
All right, 5th throw. Nines is up by
Bullseye Buell
4.
taking a little closer look at that axe, trying to see if he could squeeze out any points possible. But he's got some work to do here, Joey.
Bullseye Nines.
Casey Nines is dialed in right now. 2 straight bullseyes
4 Buell.
Man, and
to
just
make it a 6-point lead.
a 6-point lead, and it's just that kind of throws that Casey Buell just cannot have. Going into the turn, he's down by 6. He's really got to start finding that bullseye stroke.
We'll see if maybe switching sides can turn the tides for Casey Buell.
Well, and you have to wonder too, Joey, how much of it's mental, you know, how much of it's just compounding throw after throw after throw for Casey Bullseye Buell. He knows he has work to do to get back into his old form, but, you know, once it starts, is it just a snowball going down a hill?
Yeah, we certainly know what Bullseye Buell is capable of. That's why we call him Bullseye Buell, but he's yet to throw a bullseye here in this match.
5 nines.
Yeah, we're talking about a man in the first season. You know, he was the first person to take down Matt the Magic Man Bradshaw, first person to prove that he's human. So we know what he's capable of. It's just he's got to find it again.
There's a good throw from Buell. Looks like a 5.
5 and 5.
And it is. It's also a 5 for Laser Wolf.
And it looks like Casey might be getting a closer look here. Is he challenging that it's an actual 4? It looks like it's popping through on both sides, but they're going to...
Well, Casey Nines is a man of integrity and an honest competitor.
Again, as we've said this many a times, every person wants to come about their victory honorably. So Casey recognizing that that's actually a 4, not a 5. Also knowing that he's probably got this thing locked up.
Yeah, and the way this league is, all the competitors just have such a great mutual respect for one another. You know what goes around comes around.
Right, and Karma then coming through right there for Casey. Laser Wolf
last throw,
Nines
is up by 8.
Bullseye there on his 9th throw. And it looks like we got Casey Buell going for the kill shot here. So
yeah, if he could get this and get a fall, he would force sudden death awfully close there to hitting the kill shot. He missed it though, and Nines hits a 5. To put a bow on this one, he gets the win, 52 to 39.
39 to 52, Casey.
Well, Casey Nines just continuing to perform at a high level. He improves to 15 and 3 with a 13-point win over Casey Buell.
Absolutely, just a tremendous showing by Casey Nines. And for Casey Buell, again, it's just finding that bullseye stroke. Kind of got into a rut of 4s there, but a nice aggressive move to go for the kill shot on the 10th throw. Came very close for the second week in a row, very close to a kill shot. So something that could definitely benefit him come tournament time.
Yeah, those kill shots can make or break you in the postseason, which is right around the corner. We're just a few weeks away. Let's throw it down to Casey Nines right now for all of the competition he's going to be going up against in the postseason.
Well, it's a tough call. I mean, some of the newer people we have. I mean, they're putting up good numbers. I mean, I got beat tonight by one of the newer people. They're just flying through those ranks there. So, I mean, when it comes to tournament night, I only lost by I think like 2 points one of my games. So, I mean, anything could really happen. And tournament night, I mean, you lose one game and there you go. You're in the bottom bracket and you got to fight your way to the top again. It's hard. I've been there, and I end up with second place one time. But I mean, who knows what's going to happen?
That's why there is nothing better than postseason Battle Axe. We've got much more still to come here on Week 5. We'll bring you all the action straight ahead here on MC22. Welcome back to Battle Axe. I'm Joey Dania alongside Bobby Bradford here at the Bustin Axe Throwing Range in Dubuque, Iowa for week number 5 of action. We've got just a couple weeks left until our double elimination postseason tournament, but first we've got to put a bow on week number 5, and we've got a couple of exciting matchups to bring you right now. Stephanie Prine set to take on Nancy Kramer. So Prine and Kramer touch tips of the axes for good sportsmanship, and we are set to go. Nancy making her Battle Axe debut, Bobby.
She's making her Battle Axe debut. Probably wish she had that throwback. That was a axe getting out of her hand a little bit there, throwing a 2. But Stephanie not able to take advantage of it, throwing a 3 there. So just a 1-point lead here for Stephanie after one throw.
We'll see how Kramer responds here with her second throw. Now that she's gotten one under her belt under the bright lights of Battle Axe, that's a much better throw for Kramer. Ooh. And it is a foot fault for Stephanie Prine. Just devastating.
It is devastating. So a foot fault, when the opponent, when the thrower steps over that line before the score is called, that is actually going to be a 0. So one of the things I have to wait for. So a devastating hole here for Stephanie to come out of, but she's a good competitor. I bet she put up a fight.
Still a long ways to go in this one.
And a another nice throw there by Nancy. And again, that pink lady is just getting away from Stephanie this season.
5 Nancy.
So Nancy Kramer, after throwing a 2, she throws back-to-back 5s. She is not intimidated by this stage.
Yeah, you hear a lot of the competitors. They're intimidated by the bright lights back in the battle axe throwing range here, but Nancy is not one of them. Coming in hot.
So there's a better throw from Stephanie Prine. Looks like it might be a 4.
4
It
Stephanie.
is. So it's a 6-point
All right,
lead
fifth
still
throw. Nancy
for
is up by
Nancy
6.
Kramer.
Yeah, it's one of those things where she's been working on this all season long to try to get that blade to go more flush into the board, not be so erratic with the blade. And then Nancy
3 Nancy.
with an unfortunate 3 there.
We'll see if that's a 5 for Stephanie Prine.
4 Stephanie.
It's a 4. Just missed a 5. So she does gain a point back from Nancy Kramer, who has a 5-point advantage after the first half.
Yeah, so nice showing here by Nancy going into the turn. As you could see there, though, that last throw by Stephanie just barely missed a 5 right on that black line.
There's a nice
4 and
throw from
5,
Stephanie
Stephanie.
Prine. It's a 5. She's starting to chip away at that deficit.
Absolutely, and it's, again, one of those things we've talked about. It's a common theme for most competitors here. Playing with a lead, putting pressure on your opponent, and forcing them to play catch-up. That axe getting away from Nancy a little bit.
3
And
Nancy. Bullseye
What a
Stephanie.
throw from Prine.
tremendous bullseye there for Stephanie.
So she is now within 1 point of Nancy Kramer. She was trailing by 6, but in 3 throws, she's right back in it, down just by 1.
And that just goes back to it. If you cannot keep the pressure on your opponent, they can get back into this thing really quickly. Nancy's kind of stuck in a 3 and
4
4
Stephanie. 3 Nancy.
We got a tied game, Bobby. 29-all with just 2 throws to go. This has been a nice comeback from Stephanie Prine. We'll see how Nancy Kramer responds.
Yep, all knotted up. Each competitor really trying to focus in and trying to get more consistent throws. That's
3 and 3.
So they'll trade points, each throwing a 3, and it's all going to
All
come
right,
down to
last
this,
throw. Nancy's
the
up by
10th and
2.
final throw.
Stephanie's lucky that axe stayed in the board there. That one came in sidewinding a little bit, so always fun when it comes down to the last throw, Joey.
3 Nancy. 4 Stephanie.
So Stephanie Prine completes a
All right,
thrilling
close game. It was
comeback.
35
She
Stephanie,
wins it on the
36
last
Nancy.
throw, 36-35 over Nancy Kramer. Well, Stephanie Prine, down but never out in this one. She just did what she had to do on the back half to eke out a 1-point win.
Yeah, slowly chipping away at the lead that Nancy Kramer had put together, and Stephanie overcoming that foot fault on her second throw. Really nice job on that 7th throw, really capitalizing on that 3 that Nancy threw, coming through with the bullseye. But definitely Stephanie wants to work on her consistency of throws.
And nothing for Nancy Kramer to hang her head about here in her Battle Axe debut, a round of 35. Certainly an impressive start to her Battle Axe career.
Absolutely.
All right. We've got one final matchup here on this episode of Battle Axe. Hannah Brussel taking on Cody Yoakum.
Okay, that's fine.
Here we go. Happy Feet and
Yep, you're
Yoakum
good.
in our final matchup of the week.
Yeah, Hannah coming in at 9 and 8, Cody at 14 and 3. Both competitors very close in the top 10 rankings here.
Bullseye Cody. 5 Hannah.
Well, a nice start for both of these competitors. Yoakum just a little better with a bullseye.
Yeah, Cody has quickly become one of the top competitors in the league. Really consistent thrower. You'll see he doesn't have many drops, if any at all. And Hannah's done a really great job of just eliminating those drops and the mistakes in her general throws.
And Yoakum, he doesn't say a whole
Hannah.
lot. He doesn't go out
5
there and
Cody.
talk a lot of trash. He just goes out there and lets the axe speak for itself.
Yep, lets the axe speak for himself, let the board do the work. And quickly with a 2-point lead here, going into the 3rd throw.
Five and 5.
So a couple of 5s from Brussel and Yoakum. Remains a 2-point advantage for Cody Yoakum after 3 throws. Yoakum with a record of 14 and 3 coming into this one.
Yep, and both players with a very compact throw. You can see Hannah's holding her elbow to
4 Cody. 5
maintain that level throw that she wants to kind of really direct
All right,
the axe where
5th
she
throw.
wants to go.
Cody's up
So
by 1 point.
each player has their own mechanism that they can develop to have a consistent throw.
Nice throw
For
from
Hannah.
Cody Yoakum. Could it be a bullseye?
5, Cody.
It's not. It's a 5. He gains a point, though, on Brussel. He's got a 2-point lead heading into the second half.
Yeah, trading points in the last 2 throws were Hannah and Cody. So going into the turn, we have a 2-point lead. Should be an exciting finish here because that looks like those might be
Cody.
2 fours.
For Hannah.
And they are. So still a 2-point lead here for Cody Yoakum.
Now, in our last match, we saw a footfall from Stephanie Prine. That's why they call Hannah Brussel Happy Feet. But having that nickname is really cut down on her jumping the gun and crossing that line.
Right, whatever mnemonic device you need
Cody.
to remind yourself not to
5, Hannah.
just waste throws. That's what Hannah has done. She's done a tremendous job of it.
Can I take your axe and just like knock it in? You gotta take it out.
Also, it looks like
I
there's
just need to knock it
some
in.
slivers in the board here, so it looks like they're just going to be pounding it in. Again, this is a game of inches, so any little sliver of that board could determine between a 5 and a 6 here. So as you can see, Cody Yoakum just tossing that axe there.
Just trying to stay in rhythm and not get out of it.
Ooh, bullseye, Hannah. For
Great
Cody.
throw from Brussel. A bullseye to tie it up with 2 throws to go.
Wow, just a tremendous throw there by Hannah. Coming off that nice 5 on the 7th throw. So let's see if she can maintain it and take a lead here. At least send it into...
5, Hannah.
Ooh, that's going to be really close, Joey.
Bullseye, Cody.
It's a bullseye for Cody Yoakum.
Wow. Tremendous.
All right, last
So
throw.
Yoakum has a
Cody is up
1-point
by 2
advantage with
points.
1 throw to go.
1 point to go. Hannah knows what she needs to do. Cody knows what he needs to do, too. He knows he has to focus up on that board. 5 or a 6. And
The door is open for Hannah Brussel. And she delivers.
Bullseye, Hannah.
It's a bullseye.
For
and
Cody.
there it is. So you
How
can
about
see it.
that?
All right.
Disbelief in
And
Hannah.
I lied. Cody was only up by 1, so it's 48-49, Hannah.
So there you go. So there's a little miscommunication. It appears in
That was
the point
good,
total there. So Hannah
49.
just realizing now she's the victor.
Yeah, I think Brussel thought they were going to sudden death, and then
Right.
she finds out that, in fact, she is the winner, throwing that bullseye on her final throw to win it 49-48. It's not really all about how you start, it's how you finish, and what a finish from Hannah Brussel.
Yeah, just a tremendous matchup by both players. Each did a great job putting consistent points on the board. As you can see, there's not a single 3 on any of the lines there for anybody. So nice job for Hannah to stick within the game. And, again, clutch throws on the 8th and the 10th throw to throw a bullseye there. But just a nice job by Cody as well.
Yeah, what a strong finish it was from Hannah Brussel. 5s and 6s to put this one away. Here's Brussel on her progression this season.
So last week was a little rough for me. I didn't do my best last week, but I feel like I'm coming out ahead this week, and that's going to only benefit me for next week.
Hannah Brussel looking poised for postseason success as we get just a couple weeks away from that postseason. Time now for our post-game wrap-up. Well, after 5 weeks of competition, here are the standings. Matt Bradshaw leading the way once again, a perfect 20-0 on the season. His average score is 53.2 points per game.
Yeah, not much has changed here a little bit from week to week, but as you can see, Hannah did overtake Eric Schizzle to go to the 7th spot, so Hannah continuing to build on her nice season so far, and looking forward to the tournament.
Yeah, it's going to be a dandy. Right behind Bradshaw, it's Chris D'Onofrio and Casey Nines. That's going to do it for Week 5 here on Battle Axe. Thanks so much for watching. For Bobby Bradford and our entire MC22 crew, this is Joey Danya. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you here next time on Battle Axe.